So guys, welcome to another gardening video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to get rid of pests and diseases in your garden, specifically focusing on the crops that you can grow right now in March, in autumn, in South Africa. Okay, we're also going to sprinkle some companion plants so that your plants have some friends. All right, so I hope you enjoy. I hope it's helpful. Let's go straight into the video, please. So first of the crops, we have brassicas. So this includes cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, kale, so these really like to get affected by aphids, and aphids are these small little creatures. They're small little creatures that literally latch onto the leaves of the cabbage, the cauliflower, and they cause the leaves to actually curl. So if you see your cabbage start to curl and and it seems like it's trying to protect something, basically it is affected by aphids. The best thing to do for aphids: come in early, regularly check on your crops so that you can stop the infestation growing too big. That's the first, what I would say. Come in quickly, check regularly so that you check it, because these can really infect the crop quickly, and before you know it, you won't be able to actually get rid of the aphids, right? So the best way to actually get rid of them is just to check in the middle here and just to literally take them off manually. You can literally just take them off with your hands. You can literally just rub them off, or you can get water, a hose, and just spray the leaves with water, right? And so usually they are inside the leaves, and they'll cause the leaves to do this, right? And then the next thing is, you see cabbage worms, right? So you see here, this is what cabbage worms do. They cause holes in the cabbage or whatever brassica you have. They basically just chew holes in there, and at times it can really it can get very invasive, so that all of these leaves will then be just covered in holes and holes and holes, just like here. You see again, another example. So the best way to get rid of this is actually to cover this with some cover rows, so that you're actually preventing the moths laying eggs and then basically them turning into caterpillars that feed onto the cabbage. So the best way, to get a net, so that you're preventing that, and then you could manually pick out the caterpillars as well. Just get rid of them as well, away from the brassicas. So the companion plants for the brassicas would be, and you can see them so beautifully, marigold, nasturtium also, and then dill. So these actually really help in getting rid of the pests and also attracting the beneficial insects as well. So get those in, okay? Take care of your brassicas. So next we have the leafy greens, right? And this includes spinach, lettuce over there as well. You can see it, the lettuce over there. So this, the leafy greens, these really get affected by slugs and snails. So the best method for this is, you could literally lay some crushed eggshells. So get some crushed eggshells and place them around, especially by the roots of the crop, so that the slugs and snails don't actually get close to the leafy greens. So if you don't know, the crushed eggshells, they don't the texture hurts the slugs and the snails body, so placing them near the roots will literally prevent them from getting near the actual plants as a whole, right? So definitely getting some eggshells in there would help. You can get rid of them manually by just plucking them out and then placing them somewhere as far as possible from the actual leafy greens. Another one, you cut a little hole, get some Tupperware, place it near the affected areas, put some beer in there. Yes, you heard me right, some Black Label even. Put it in there, and then these actually they get attracted to the beer, and then they basically fall in that beer and they die in there, right? So that's another method for you to use. Then another pest that affects the leafy greens are caterpillars. So caterpillar, as I said before, you can just place a net around them. The caterpillars actually leave holes in the lettuce and the spinach and all the other leafy greens, so you don't really want that. So you can place a net around the crops, and then this prevents the moths from actually laying the eggs and developing into the caterpillars. If that's already happened, then you can literally just hand pick them and get rid of them in that way. Okay, so the companion plant for the leafy greens are onion, garlic, and radish. Okay, so just pair them alongside each other. They don't compete for nutrients and they grow really well next to each other, so pairing them together will do wonders for the garden. The next crop are root crops, right? And this includes radish. You see the beautiful radish. It also includes carrots. It also includes some beetroot as well. So the root crops, you know how nice the root crops are. One thing I would also suggest, number one suggest for the root crops is that you have nice soil, right? And nice soft soil that's enriched with compost, right? This definitely helps with the disease resistance of the actual crops. So having just nice supple soil that they can grow healthily in, this can do wonders for the root crops, right? And keeps the crops healthy. Okay, so the root crops actually get affected, and you can see there's a little carrot here. The root crops get affected by carrot fly. There are larvae that cause the roots to actually rot. These white small insects that are seen at the root of the actual carrots. So the best way to get rid of these are to introduce some marigold, some nasturtium. The marigold and the nasturtium attract plants. They attract insects called nematodes. So the nematodes actually feed on these carrot flies. So introducing these such crops that actually get the nematodes into your garden are a great feature to have with the root crops. Then the next one that actually gets affected by the root crops are cabbage root fly as well. So these ones also they feed on the actual roots of the crops, causing the plant to actually wilt and then eventually die, right? The best way to do this is for you actually to annually rotate your crops. So if you rotate your crops, right, this it prevents the larvae from actually from building a home in a certain section, right? So if you remove certain crops that are attracted by the larvae, then they basically have to start a new home somewhere else, and they constantly have to shift around. But if you don't rotate them, then they know, okay, next season I'm going to be here, and I know that there's going to be my favorite roots, so I'm going to stay here and I'm going to keep eating. So if you have this problem, just make sure that you are rotating into another area as far as possible. So the next one, and I know some of you have some tomatoes that are actually like fully grown now, or they are still producing some of the tomatoes. So I thought, okay, let me add some tomatoes in the mix as well. Just as a disclaimer, I wouldn't suggest you growing tomatoes right now in the season. It's a bit too late now to start. We already have an example of the pests that affect the tomatoes, and here we have the red spider mites. So if you go and look underneath your tomatoes, right, you'll see these little specks. You might actually see these little things, right? And these things are red spider mites. If we can zoom in, there we go. You can see that they're these red spider mites, and they are these small things. They're very inconspicuous. You wouldn't really think that they make an impact, but these things really deplete the energy out of the actual tomatoes, right? And how you can pick up on it. So the leaves of the tomato actually start to do this, right? You can see that they start to yellow a bit, and they have these yellow spots and this is definitely caused by the red spider mites. They even create webs. These really just deplete the whole tomato. They make them really weak. What I would say remedy for this, take out all the leaves that are affected by this, right? So you see the bottom leaves are affected already. You can see that they're affected. Literally take off one, right? And then place them somewhere that is not nearby the actual tomatoes, right? Throw them somewhere else, okay? Right? Then with the ones that are already affected, right? You see, like this one has the red spider mites in there. So basically what you should do is just remove all of these spider mites. So just remove them by hand, by water. Just get rid of them so that they are not there anymore. Just get rid of them, just get rid of them. And then get rid of the leaves as well. Just get rid of the leaves. Make sure that you're not getting rid of all the top leaves and stuff. If they are affected, just make sure that you're removing the actual spider mites. So as an example, right, this crop, this tomato tree, right, you can only see here, they don't have much leaves. As you can see, there's not much leaves on this plant, and this one was really affected by the spider mites. So what I did, I came out one day and I just started to remove the spider mites on the leaves. So you can see now they don't have any more spider mites on the actual leaves. And yeah, it's become a lot healthier. The leaves itself have also become a lot more healthy, and they're not as affected, and also the crop is also now doing much better. Also, right, if you want an extra protection, make sure that, let's say you just get by the root of the tomato that's affected, and then just dig a hole nearby it, and then plant some maybe like banana peels, eggshells, just to give it some extra nutrients. This is what I did for this one, and it's really bounced back. So I'm really happy with how it's producing now. So yeah, spider mites, that's how you get rid of them. So the tomatoes also get affected by the aphids as well. They are not prone to not getting affected by the aphids. And as the other remedy, just remove them. Come in regularly, check in, and just remove them manually. That, I would say, is the best way to get rid of the aphids. Companion plants for the tomatoes, you have the marigold. I told you guys, marigold is the best for everything. Okay, get some marigold in them, right? For the tomatoes, you know, get some garlic as well. Get some basil. Basil really works well with tomatoes as well. Even pairing them up with some lettuce. The lettuce also does really well with the tomatoes. So pairing them up will really make them a lot stronger and more protected against the actual pests and diseases. Okay, so as we wrap it up, I just have to always say this with pests and diseases, right? Pests and diseases are not a bad thing, right? They are, obviously, but they're not a bad thing. Basically, their job is to get rid of the suffering or weak plants, right? So if you see that your plants are getting attacked by pests and diseases, just try and kind of not think of the way to get rid of them, but to basically say, how can I create an environment where the plants can thrive, right? So this is basically putting in the marigold, the nasturtium, the companion plants, making a symbiotic environment where all of the insects and the crops basically work together in symbiosis, okay? Right? Instead of just saying, okay, no, I need to spray and I just need to spray, rather think of it in a natural way, you know. It's nature's way of saying, you know, survival of the fittest, creating an ecosystem where the plants can thrive. That, for me, is the best way to get rid of pests and diseases naturally. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday, and I will see you on Wednesday. Don't forget my Wednesday show, guys. Okay. All right, give me some ideas for videos as well, what you might want to see on the Wednesday videos, because right now I give you some tours and I give you some tips and tricks. So maybe if you can give me some ideas, maybe you can send me your videos, and then I look at them, and then we can give a spotlight to people, to the subscribers. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Like, subscribe, become a member, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. I love you all. Love, peace, grow every single day.